The Guardian's in Adweek, New York, and I'm speaking to Mark Thompson, the Chief Executive of the New York Times Company. Now, a colleague, Steve Hewlett, apparently wrote a column. I haven't actually read it myself yet, but you come off very well in it, apparently, I'm told. He thinks you acquitted yourself quite well and you gave quite straight answers. I wonder, how did you feel about the Patten experience?
I mean, there are some things I miss about Britain. Can't get strong tea, can't get decent sausages. You can't appear in front of the PAC. In fact, you can appear. It turns out you can get back and appear in front of the Public Accounts Committee. I've got nothing. I mean, I had a few hours with MPs a couple of weeks ago talking about these issues. I thought I had a very good opportunity to give my perspective on those events, and I've got nothing to add to that, really.
Well, two other quick questions. NAO and the BBC, there's been a big debate in the UK about whether or not you're sort of opening them up to too much scrutiny and government scrutiny. What's your view? Miriam Miller mentioned the NAO being given more powers.
Well, I think again, I don't want to get drawn into any particular debate. I mean, the question of the next charter for the BBC, the future of governance of the BBC, and the future of accountability and scrutiny of the BBC is for Tony Hall and others there to consider. And all I would say is I believe still passionately in a very strong and independent BBC, and I think that it's important that the BBC is held to account. Of course it is. It's important that the public get a chance to see what's going on inside the organisation, and when there are, as inevitably there are problems, projects don't work, all that gets looked into properly. But you'd never want to get to a point where accountability means that the independence of the BBC, which the British public really, really care about, gets undermined. So I'm afraid this is one of those rather British things where a balance needs to be struck. What I would say is, my view has always been, fully collaborate with the NAO, give them all of the information they need right at the start, and of course, always when MPs and others want to talk about it, go and answer their questions.
Very diplomatic. I think you sat on the fence, but it sounded like you gave a great answer. Right on. You didn't say yes or no, though, did you? In the end, NAO yes, NAO no. More?
Well, as I say, I think that how you strike the balance. There's a tension here between wanting the BBC to be a fully independent organisation with its own independent form of government. So not ultimately accountable to Parliament, but accountable to its own governing body. And that's about distance from Parliament, distance from government, and it's what the public want, versus the fact that the BBC gets a lot of public money, and the public and politicians understandably want it to be accountable for the way that money's spent. Striking the balance actually is a fairly technical question. My own view is, in my years as Director General, actually I thought the balance was struck pretty well. But it'll be, I'm sure, part of those very exciting debates about the charter renewal. It'll be one of the topics that's discussed. And I have to say, I've been involved in that for many years of my life. Tragically, it's not my job anymore.
Two quick questions. Now, Lord Patten has come out and said half the number of senior managers. You're doing a pretty good job. There's a pretty good plan there. So what's that? Does that mean you didn't do enough?
No, I announced the target of getting to 1% of the population of senior managers back in 2011. So I think that's a restatement of.
More a restatement than
anything.
Okay. Well, he's looking for headlines, isn't he? And lastly, John Whittingdale, he's going to step in with a select committee. If you are called, if he does, will you go?
I've received no invitations, and I've got nothing more to say about me.
Would you go if he
I've got nothing more to say about the BBC.
All right, excellent.
Okay,
Thank you very much for your time, Mark. I appreciate it.